The Galactic Engineering Summit had never seen a human before. When Bella stepped into the crystalline hall of Station Chrono 7, every conversation stuttered to silence. Her boots echoed against the translucent floor as 200 alien engineers turned their various appendages, optical sensors, and consciousness fields toward her. She was unremarkable by human standards, average height, lean build, dark hair pulled into a practical ponytail. But here, among the towering Crethans with their 4 arms, the floating Luminae who existed partially in other dimensions, and the silicon-based Grecs who communicated through harmonic resonance, she was an oddity, a human. The Crethan overseer, Lex Morton, clicked his mandibles in what might have been amusement. The Terran delegation sends a single representative. How ... quaint. Rocky, her engineering partner and the only other human within 3 star systems, whispered through her cum bead. Bella, you don't have to prove anything to these. Watch me, she muttered back. The summit's purpose was clear: to select the lead engineer for the Helix Gate project, a megastructure that would revolutionize faster-than-light travel. The position required someone who could work with star steel, the rarest alloy in known space. Forged in the hearts of dying neutron stars and compressed under gravitational forces that made black holes look gentle, star steel was legendary, unbreakable, unmalleable, and according to every species present, unliftable by primitive human musculature. Lex Morton gestured toward the center of the hall, where a single bar of star steel rested on an anti-gravity platform. It was perhaps a meter long, 10 centimeters thick, and it seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The metal had a presence, a weight that pressed against reality itself. The preliminary test, Lex Morton announced, his voice reverberating through translator nodes, is simple. Disable the anti-gravity field and move the star steel to the designated workspace. The Crethon standard requires all 4 arms. The Luminae must channel dimensional the Grecs must harmonize in groups of 7. He paused, his compound eyes glittering. Humans have none of these advantages. Humans have other advantages, Bella said quietly. Stepping forward, the crowd murmured his chimes, subsonic rumbles of skepticism. Rocky's voice crackled in her ear again. Bella, that thing weighs over 3,000 kilograms in standard gravity. The suit's exoskeleton isn't rated for. I'm not using the exoskeleton. What? She had already begun unfastening the mechanical assists on her arms and legs. The other engineers watched with what she interpreted as confusion or perhaps pity. Illuminae floated closer, its ethereal form shimmering with curiosity. Fascinating, it sang, its voice like wind chimes. The human appears to be removing its technological enhancements. Is this a concession of defeat? No, Bella said, stripping off the last servo motor and letting it clatter to the floor. It's a matter of principle. She approached the star steel bar. The anti-gravity field hummed beneath it, the only thing keeping the metal from crashing through the station floor. A control panel beside it glowed with alien script, and Lex Morton manipulated it with casual precision. When you're ready, human, though I recommend you step back when the field disengages. The gravitational shockwave alone has been known to Bella hit the disable button. The field died. The star steel dropped. For a fraction of a second, the metal fell and Bella's hand shot out, catching it. The impact should have shattered her bones. The weight should have driven her through the floor. Instead, she stood there, the bar resting across her right palm, her arm extended at shoulder height. Her muscles trembled, not from failure, but from the raw exertion of balancing 3 tons of the universe's most unforgiving metal. The hall erupted in chaos. Alarms shrieked as station sensors detected impossible stress readings. Engineers shouted in a dozen languages. Lex Morton's mandibles hung open in shock. Bella adjusted her grip, shifting the bar until it balanced perfectly on her palm. Then, slowly, deliberately, she raised it higher, her arm straightening until the star steel extended above her head. Is this enough? She asked, her voice cutting through the pandemonium. Rocky had stopped breathing. Through her bead she could hear his stunned whisper, help. She knew what they were all thinking. Humans were weak. Humans had no natural armor, no additional limbs, no dimensional manipulation. Humans were gravity-bound creatures from a backwater world, barely worthy of notice. But humans had something else. Earth's gravity was brutal compared to most homeworlds. For millions of years, human ancestors had evolved under 9.8 meters per second squared of constant crushing pressure. Every movement, every breath, every heartbeat was a fight against a force that never relented. Human bones had become dense. Human muscles had learned to fire in coordinated sequences that maximized leverage and minimized waste. Human tendons had become springs of condensed collagen. And when you took a human born and raised in that crucible, and trained them from childhood in disciplines that pushed the body's limits, gymnastics, martial arts, heavy labor, you created something that other species had never needed to become. You created someone who could defy the impossible. Bella lowered the bar slowly, then shifted it to her left hand. She raised it again with equal ease. Earth's gravity is 1.4 times the galactic standard, she said, her voice steady despite the burning in her muscles. We don't lift weights in training. We lift ourselves every day, every moment, against a force that would crush most of you. She walked forward, carrying the star steel as if it were a simple barbell, and placed it gently on the workspace platform. The metal settled with a resonant hum that vibrated through the station's superstructure. Bella turned to face Thex. Sweat beaded on her forehead, but her breathing was controlled. Test complete. What's next? The Crethon overseer stood frozen, his forearms hanging limp. Around the hall, engineers of 100 species stared in stunned silence. The Luminae floated closer, its light pulsing with something that might have been respect. Extraordinary. The human physiology. We had no idea. You never asked, Bella said simply. Rocky's voice finally returned to her bead, filled with pride and disbelief. Bella, you just rewrote every xenobiology textbook in the galaxy. She smiled slightly. Good, maybe they'll stop underestimating us. Lex Morton finally found his voice. The position is yours, Engineer Bella. If you'll have it. She nodded once, crisp and professional. I will, and I'll need my partner Rocky on the team. Humans work better in pairs. Of course, the Crethon said, still staring at the star steel as if expecting it to have been an illusion. As Bella walked back through the parting crowd, she allowed herself a small, private smile. They had claimed no human could lift stars. She had proven them wrong with one arm. That was just the beginning. Humanity had arrived among the stars, and the galaxy was about to learn what that truly meant.